Me calling someone on the street a cracker and it ends there. To me, that's just me being ignorant or prejudiced or being rude or whatever, or being a bigot. That to me isn't racism. Racism for me is structural and hierarchical, where you're actually going to subjugate a whole set of people and say, you guys are not going to make it in life.
Guys.
Jaheem, where are you, bruv? Come on, lads! Fuck that.
Why did you put the band on it?
I just wanted to neutralise you lot.
Yeah, well, you fucked us all up, man. Mate.
Because Chizzo's 5'6", yeah? So when he's trying to...
Oh! So when he's...
Oh! I'm 5'6"! Fully just not! 5'6"! I'm sorry, Chiz! I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
Man, try Ruby, you know. Me, Ruby. 1-0.
Short men do get a hard time though. And short men do get a hard time.
Why is he short, man?
No, short men, no, but don't they? Chiz.
How am I meant to know?
No, but short men do get a hard time.
How am I meant to know?
But, and I think what's mad though, when you look at preferences, yeah, women can say all they want about short men, yeah. I remember one time one girl was in my mate's DMs. She goes, "Oh, how tall are you?" And he must have goes, "How much do you weigh?" Yeah. She got offended.
Bro.
Think about that. She got offended because he asked how much do you weigh. But what's the difference? You're gonna judge me on my height. I'm judging you on your weight. So my question is, if you're gonna ask me how tall I am, and I answer, why can't I ask you what your waist is?
No, you're dead right. I always see that when girls go, "Oh, you're too small," and then they don't. You know what I mean? It's not.
It's mad.
Yeah,
Is it shallow? So let's say, for instance, a woman doesn't want to date someone who's 5'6", like Chido's height. Is she shallow, or is it a preference? Is it shallow?
But it's a
Let's fight.
No, you're chest, see how you bounce 160 or whatever now.
But is it shallow? If a woman won't date a man who's 5'6" or 5'7", is it shallow for her to have that preference, or is it just a preference?
It's a preference, isn't it? It's like, put it this way, in Ireland, a lot of girls probably didn't like black fellas. I'd probably be the first that they've ever, do you know what I mean? Loads of them, do you know what I'm trying to say? Is it shallow that they did, it's what they know. Or what's, I don't know, it's kind of a preference.
So when does it become, okay, so let's say, as we're talking about race today, let's say I refuse to date someone who's white. Yeah, let's say I just don't date white girls. Let's say that's my stance. Yeah. I don't date white girls. Would you call me a bigot? Would you say that is there any negative connotation if I say I don't want to date someone who's white?
No, because
it's a preference.
It's a preference, but then there might, but that's what you say now. But then there will be that one white girl that you'd be like, wow. It's like the worst one that I hear is when I've heard black lads say, "Oh, we don't go near black women," and I was like, "Hold on a minute." So if Beyonce was with you would, you know what I mean? I've seen it.
Forget black. Let's just say someone who's white doesn't want to date someone who's white. Let's just say someone doesn't want to date whoever their own race is. Is there anything wrong with that?
No. There isn't. But the thing is,
it's when you kind of say it in a demeaning
when you say it in a way, yeah, in a certain way.
I'm gonna put a picture and say there's something wrong.
No. I'll tell you what I say. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Your preference is your preference. Yeah. But don't go put down. Don't go put down your race.
There's something wrong with it.
My thing is this. I would go as far as saying most of us have a modus operandi when it comes to pack mentality.
Meaning, is he from Barnes? What Barnes?
Mo. Hey, if it was a rapper, modus operandi.
Tell me more, blood.
Mo means modus operandi.
Modus. He said M.O. I don't even know the words.
I don't know how someone, and this is my thing, I don't know how someone could be born into a certain race, their own, and I hate using their own people. Let's just say me being Nigerian, raised around my family. Now, when people say, "Oh, your mum is black," I hate that analogy because I'm not meant to fancy my mum. So I don't understand that whole "your mum is black, why do you love black women?" I don't understand that. And when you say, "Oh, look how someone treats their mum, they treat their mum right, they'll treat you right," you're not my mum. I can love my mum and still slap your face, even though I don't beat women. Just put that out there, never happened in my life. But when you look at, I know plenty of guys who love their mum and they're thumping up women. But my thing is that how can you be raised around black people, be around that setting, and then tell me you do not find black women attractive? And whether it's I've met white women who've come to me and goes, "Yeah, I don't really like white men, I only date black guys." It puts me off. It puts me off. It's turn off.
It's a major turn off.
Thank you. It's a fetish.
But the thing is, you could have black guys as your preference here, but don't say that about
your own thing.
It's weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
Your dad's white.
It's weird to me when someone says that.
You can't really use. You know what I mean?
I've had white men say to me, I don't really date black guys, I mean white guys, I only like black guys. I'm like, why? I don't know, it's just something about you guys, I don't know. What is it, darling? Because that theory about all of us having BBKs or big swinging, I don't have one. I'll take this for free. But you get disappointed. You come here.
See my village, yeah? You get that, yeah?
You come here, you be disappointed. You be disappointed, yeah?
Is this Yoruba man? Is it?
I don't live up to that stereotype. And so sometimes I meet women and see me, that's why I do
in our village, we're poll voters. When we run, we just...
Man used the turn left, you know.
For me, I don't live up to that stereotype, but at the same time, I always wonder, like, when people do kind of date out there outside of the race, you find out. I remember when I was dating one Arab girl one time, okay? She said, just hear it to me, she goes, Gabriel, I love you so much, but my parents would never accept you. And I was this dirty secret. Even when I used to drop her home, I would park like towards the top of a road and then she'd walk to her house. Like she said that if her parents ever found out she was dating me, they'd kill her.
Mate, kill her. I was in Ireland, I was the first black person that every girl brought home to their house. But I mean, like, how is it? Bethany? The dads will be looking at me like, do you know this Black Lives Matter, right? Yeah. People used to always say stuff to me about it. And I was like, I've been breaking barriers my whole life. Yeah. So like, let's say I went into that house and there's white people. I've been around white people, the only black person. Yeah. So then when all the white people are like, this fella's all right, as much as that's a shit thing to say, they become less racist towards other black people. I was on my own and I think I've been breaking down barriers my whole fucking life.
You know what's funny is that you're right, but each time when they're saying that, you're the alright guy. But was you being yourself?
No, I've been 100. I've been a prick.
Because you know sometimes you find that people try to change themselves so that basically they fit in to appease. Let's just say white people. Let's just put it out there and say. But was you actually just being true to yourself?
Always myself.
Because I always find that when a white person tends to meet me, the first thing, because I'm a bit big, tall, black guy, the first thing they assume is that I'm going to be
tall.
Yeah, you know.
James, James, that close, bro. James, that close. James, that close, cuz.
Hey, he's 5'8". 5'8".
You come to our kingdom and you want to do this in our kingdom. You're not leaving today. You will not leave today. You're not leaving today. It's annoying because you find out sometimes white people have their back up against the wall when they meet me, and after about 30 seconds to a minute, it's like, okay, he's one of the good ones. He is. Hey, listen, Brandon, he's fucking all right, Bethany. He's all right. He's not like the rest. He's not like the rest. I'm telling you, and that's the thing that
black people forgetting you that you're black. You know, that's
exactly. And that's what annoys me.
But you know what? That
you're not one of them.
happens in this area as well. Yeah. Because remember. I
can promise you that when you lot first.
I
can promise you him there. Listen, I can promise you. You can tell that we are such a breath of fresh air to him. He's probably goes home to his friends like, mate, my neighbours like, all these fucking black kids, they come here, mate, and like, I tell you, fucking crystal clear. They're brilliant. They are. I'm telling you. There's two African boys. There's a Jamaican boy. They're fucking brilliant. They're colours they are, but they're good colours.
Before, you know what it is? Before I probably moved here, they probably didn't get that much interaction because either side, there's no, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I've moved here and a couple other black guys have moved here. So it's like, the first day I moved here, remember I told you when I used to jump in my car and I used to say nothing to no one. Yeah. And one time,
that makes you look like that angry black person though.
So like I'm driving and I'm coming in all hours. So one day, we started a conversation, innit? And I've jumped out of the car and he's asking, what do I do and all of that? I said, I looked at my car and looked at him. I said, nice car, innit? Yeah. And he's like, yeah. I said, I sell drugs. Then he froze. I said, banter, joking. You know what I mean? So I said, banter, joking. And I said, no, I do events, I PT, and I do Uber. So I showed him a badge on the car. So I was like, I'm constantly working. So every time you see me at that time, when I used to jump out at mad hours and be driving around, it's like, if I can't sleep, I just jump in the car and go work. So he's like, you're constantly always busy because the car's always in and out. So I was like, I'm constantly working. He's like, like you've got 3 streams. And I was like, like I had to at the time. So fast forward over the past few years, if I need something, I'll just lean over the fence. I'll ask him if he needs something. Like one time he was doing his gardening during the summer. I borrowed him one thing I had that I used to dig out all the weeds and that, and we would stay there for hours talking, and you know what I mean.
Like,
so some days now he'll come and knock.
You are probably the only black guy in your life that he's ever been his friend, he's interacted with. Because even sometimes I'm in the car park, it's like a breath of fresh air to him. Like, bro, like black boys are like you, like, because remember the media is what made people only ever see of black people. They don't interact. Think of like in general, like my chefs at the restaurant. Okay, I am the first black people he told me that they've ever really interacted, been around. He said that every time they've seen black people, it's always been on TV, in the media, in the news. And he said that it's always in a negative light. When we look at that in the UK, we make up like 3% of the UK, just over 3%. But when you look at how we're demonstrated in the UK, the majority of things is crime. Like everything that they show of us is either crime or something to do with hip hop or something which is negative. So sometimes, not saying that we as individuals need to be the mouthpiece or representation of the good character, but it's important to market yourself well, so that as much as we shouldn't have to do it, but as you say, when someone, is it like your neighbour? Not saying it's going to change his views on black people, but because of you,
it broke down that barrier.
It brought the barrier down.
That's what I'm.
It's like, in this area, they proper love me. So when, like in the mornings, a lot of times I go to the cafe.
Let me do 5 reps.
So when I go into the cafe now, you've got all the builders, everyone chilling, and everyone's like, hey, cheers, da-da-da. So everyone turns around and starts looking. But it's just, when I come in, I'm always mad polite. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I always leave tips all the time. So they always say to me like, how come you always, so they always give me like extra food and all of that, and everyone's just like, right, like how come they always, but it's just how I was brought up. So people have this misconception because you were raised in Brixton and blah 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 that you're meant to be, but more times they don't realize that raw, like all of us were raised in good homes. Even the kids that you might think are bad from over there, most of them were raised in good homes. It's just circumstances just change.
It's when you're outside on the who you're going around with, isn't it?
Brixton has changed, so it's weird. Like a lot of my rugby mates from
the artists have come in, haven't they?
My rugby mates from my old team, a lot of them. They used to.
Thank you, sir.
They used to live. They used to live down this area, but a lot of them have moved to Brixton now. So it's like we've reversed areas, and it's a thing that they will say, Brixton has this reputation and blah 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 of being so rough and this and that.
Easy.
And I said to them,
easy.
Nice and
easy.
So I've said to them, the
easy.
thing about
Last
Brixton,
one. Nice and easy.
Racket.
Nice and easy. Okay.
I said to the thing.
You warmed up now, yeah?
Yeah, bro, I'm ready. Jaheem, are you serious?
I said to them, the thing about Brixton now is Brixton had a reputation, yes, but the thing about Brixton, it was community. You know what I mean?
When I moved to England, I went to Brixton, bro, that place was raw, bro. 2005, I was like, where the fuck am I, blood? Get me out of here, bro. Stop saying that, like, it was beautiful, man. It was a community.
Remember, he moved in at the worst year. You moved in at the worst year. 05, 06 was a war zone.
Bro,
it was the worst.
I was like, whoa, coming from Ireland where fresh air and that, you know, it was like, mad.
You see 05, 06 here? Remember 05, 06? It was the get down or lay down era.
Remember.
Yeah, 05, 06 in Brixton, there was a great divide.
Oh really? Yeah.
So yeah, you couldn't, like, literally everyone kind of stayed in the part of Brixton that we're from.
Okay.
Because it was like there was a hype then get down or lay down. So if you didn't convert to Islam, then
you're juicing. You're juicing. No. You're definitely juicing.
A lot of men converted to Islam.
Must come on a different strength.
So a lot of men had this thing, get down and lay down. So if you didn't convert, you were seen as
the other people.
Yeah.
Is gentrification a bad thing? So you see when they build up areas, okay, and like Brixton, for instance, Brixton's now been gentrified. We'll be like, the yuppies have come in. Yeah, you know, when you start seeing Costa and Starbucks in an area, you know it changes. Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
So basically, is it bad for the people that live there because now the house prices are gone up and they can't afford to buy a house where they grew up? Kind of, but it makes the area nicer. But is it bad for the people that have lived there their whole life and now can't? I don't know.
Is it because a lot of people that lived in Brixton, they got shipped out to like sort of South Norwood. Some got shipped to Margate. Now my thing is this now.
Margate.
My thing is that if you're on social,
and now they've been shipped out to
not
Margate.
Margate's then, wrong with Margate.
Now they've been shipped out to Margate. This is the problem. It starts again where you're the only black person in the area and you're trying to get jobs, and now you can't get jobs.
Raw. That's what I mean.
Hold on, I'm the weakest here today. I'm the weakest in here today.
Nah.
No, I'm the
You
weakest.
know what? It's a fucking strong. It's a strong cast. Like.
No, but I'm the weakest.
Nah, I think you got big, better bully chest than me.
No. I did 4 reps.
No, you, bro. I'm trying to get.
I want to be like you.
You know that? That is the most condescending line ever, you know. I'm gonna be like you, It's the most condescending line ever. And you know what my response to that is? No problem. Come and start paying some of these bills. Come and take practice. You wanna be like me? No problem. Come and pay some of these bills. Let's start here. These are outgoings. But racism will never die though. And I don't think. And I don't think
it gets better.
Nah.
Yes. Come here now. Come on now. Compared
It's
to
got
where it
better
was.
over the times, yes. But I think all it is that it's just become more.
Well done.
covert.
Cheers.
Isn't it more that it's just covert? That people are just not saying things now. That's it. So it's in their head.
Yeah. No.
Just because no one's calling you a nigger anymore doesn't mean racism's gone.
But think about it, right? Think about it. In America, they used to grab a boy and string him up.
Because it's prison. You're gonna go to prison now. That's why you don't.
I know, but what I'm trying to say to you is, it's not that. It's getting better.
No. I tell you why I think it's sort of a placebo effect. And why I say that is it's because of prison.
Yeah.
And you remember social media, that girl that was racist to the bouncer, okay? Yeah? You remember this? It's social media that has blown it up. Back in the day, that wouldn't have happened. So now she loses her job. Now she's now seems to become a victim now. I don't know why people are atting me and doing this and that.
That's why.
That's what it is. Racism is not going anywhere. It's not going. And remember, I say as well, a lot of us are prejudiced. And the reason why I say that racism has to have power blended in it to actually work properly. But people often say, can black people be racist? And that's using the context of saying, if you're wait now, let me land. Remember, I always say that there has to be power as an ingredient for it to be racism. And I say that when you're subjugating a whole race or a set of people, that's what I classify as racism. Meaning this, me calling someone on the street a cracker and it ends there. To me, that's just me being ignorant or prejudiced or being rude or whatever, or being a bigot. That to me isn't racism. Racism for me is structural and hierarchical, where you're actually going to subjugate a whole set of people and say, you guys are not going to make it in life.
Yeah, so you're talking about like the housing that they did in America back in the day and stuff like that.
It's being strategic with what they're doing and being systemic with anything you're implementing. That's what I classify as racism. So can a black person be racist?
Turn your thing on silent, bro.
If you're talking about in Nigeria, for instance, maybe, where, let's say, for instance, one of the Alhajis said that white people are not going to be able to own any homes, they can't get jobs, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, and no whites. Say that, imagine they did the reverse in Nigeria. Then I'll say blacks can be racist. But for me, just to call you something, and that to me is just being a bigot.
So do you think she was just a bigot then, she wasn't a racist?
Okay, now see, her comment, for instance, can be ignorant. Okay, what she can she herself, as Amanda or Becky, whatever her name is, can she herself with that act implement racism? I don't think so. Racism to me comes from the top and it trickles down. That for me is what racism is. I could be wrong. I'm gonna go as far as saying that I'm gonna make a blanket statement saying we've all said ignorant things before behind closed doors. I don't think there's one person in this world that's not saying something. Even when it comes to
like my mum.
Even the traffic wardens. I remember, funny thing, I've been around certain sets of people where I even heard sometimes Nigerians call Jamaicans Jamos, and Jamos not said in a nice way. No one ever says Jamo generally in a pleasant way. Jamo's basically Jamaican.
That came from older Africans.
Yeah, they go look at Jamo, I think Jamo. Now even I've been in households and heard Nigerians say
that was their response to Boo Boo.
I remember there was one time I had a girlfriend who was Jamaican, and then when I went to the yard, they didn't think I was Nigerian. So basically, it's a true story. Someone in the house got a parking ticket, and someone goes, "Oh, the African man gave me a parking ticket." Now, even amongst that, now I just kept quiet. So basically now, the woman could see my face was a bit distorted. So she was like, she asked the girl, "Oh, what's wrong with him?" She goes, "Oh, he's Nigerian. Him African?" I said, "Yeah."
Him African.
and so even when we're talking about dating, even outside of your race, even sometimes in cultures and communities, sometimes Yorubas that won't date Igbos. Sometimes you'll find a Ghanaian want they're Nigerian. Sometimes you find a Jamaican. So even amongst blacks, there's still a divide. Even amongst blacks, and that's why I find it interesting when we talk about being biracial. Even a Yoruba person will say they're not going to date an Igbo. Now, where was you from again? Was it that part? I don't remember what it's called.
Where every willy is big. You know that one? You know? Wait, Blood Diamond. What is he trying to call?
I find that mad interesting because I was talking to my mate the other day. He was talking about slavery. Okay, and saying that, you know.
Not me, bro. What are you trying to say? No, you're trying to say my tribe. My tribe are big, you know.
Your tribe were the slaves.
Hey! What's this dickhead?
You got sent to Brazil. People don't know that.
No.
Wait,
they weren't trying to fight now.
No, but wait. Just wait 1 second. Let me land, because I tell you what's funny, when people say that black sold, when white people sometimes say, oh, you black sold each other into slavery, I always rebuttal and say, let's just say World War II was European bombing Europeans. Because if we're going to use the same idea and say the black sold blacks into slavery, what was World War II with Germany and England? It was just whites bombing whites. If we're going to use that sort of idea. But you guys were definitely the slaves that got sent. No, you was, because we were
Mandingo, bro. We were Mandingo, bro. We were the big ones.
No, they're from up north.
Are you from north?
Yeah, they're up
Oh,
north.
to be fair, if I want to be honest, the Yorubas, if I want to talk about slavery,
No, we're not. We're not.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
the Yorubas got sent out.
they
They got sent out. The Yorubas got, because
Remember when
if you look at Brazil, people don't know that Brazil has the highest population of Nigerians outside of Nigeria.
Yeah.
I didn't know Brazil even had any.
Brazil is full of Nigerians. Remember, if you look at the slave trade in the channel, the majority of the people that were slaves in Nigeria and West Africa all got sent to Brazil. Just do research. Brazil has the highest population of Nigerians at Nigeria.
That was him, wasn't it?
I'm telling you.
That was him in here when your man tried to say that he could beat him up. I think your man was like, do your research, bro. Do your research. That's Carlos, bro. Like, Chisel, do you want to use mine, bro? Them Croydon ones there are a bit mad. Hey! Look at these things, cuz these are from Barnes, yeah? Look at these things, yeah. Raw! I think they're mad, you know.
My arm's screwed.
That's
No, the arm's screwed during this lockdown, so, you know.
say so, bro.
Yeah.
Bully chest.
Nice and easy, anyone can do it.
So do you not go to the gym because you have this in your backyard?
No, we go like 2-3 times a week. You know what I mean?
But I tell you what, I prefer training here.
I prefer training here.
When the man them were here, than training in the gym.
Because we got stronger during lockdown when all of us were training together.
I remember I seen the videos.
It was adrenaline fueled. I don't think you understand. Like the competition was. I bet you 180 for the first time then because all of us.
But you're lifting. Yeah. Go on, cheers. Boom.
Nice and easy workout. Everyone can do it.
Mate, that bully chest, you know. Whose turn? No, it's not yet. No, that came up nicely.
Came a bit too quick, that did.
That's free.
Yesterday we ate jollof rice for you. That's our pre-workout. Nigerian pre-workout.
Why you need protection on your elbow, bro?
Man mixes Gary and creatine together.
Gary, oh my Francis, you remember Gary?
Gary and creatine.
Gary, remember when we used, do you not remember that? Mum used to make it. It was like the powder in the water. Gary, do you not remember it?
He said you got no memories. Franco got no memories of
I
Gary.
don't want to know anything.
Only pound of the yam.
That was that. Bleeding anywhere.
We're saying, do you used to take pound of yam to school and eat?
No, of course not, bro. You mad in my school, bro? Yeah. You want yam and stew? Man.
Yam and stew in the lunchbox. Hey Gabriel.
Back down.
Them man was taking yam and stew in the lunchbox.
Bro, yam and stew. Mate, I used to throw it before I got to school. Do you think I'm going into my Irish school with yam and stew?
I used to go to school hungry, you know.
I used to throw it.
Bare calves in the basement.
Belly just rumbling.
Go on, Gab. Boom!
Hey, why is it?
Finish it!
Leave it, man, leave it. I'm good. Leave it.
Watch this.
Now it's gonna drop down.
Watch this now. If you
You didn't want me, I know! You didn't want
We can have pause.
outdid us in
We can have pause.
Yeah.